what made you put this restaurant in like a really prominent part of Newark on literally Central Ave?
Central Ave, Baghdad. They used to call it Baghdad.
Yeah, what made you put that restaurant
Because they needed it. Because it needed to be there. Because that's where it needs. That's who needs it. We need it. You know, if they don't have any options. You know, it's like a Chicken Shack, Poppy's like 2 Poppies in a row, 2 Poppy stores in a row. Across the street is Chicken Shack, 24-hour store. Around that corner is a little bodega type sandwich, you know, stuff. And, you know, people talk about the black on black crime and all these things that's happening in the neighborhood, but they don't understand that it's what they're eating.
Yes.
You know, they're eating zombie food.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
So if you eat zombie food, you're going to behave like a zombie. You know, you're going to be out there for the flesh, you know. So that was the reason. It was necessary right there where it is.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. TK. Jersey. I've been on the grind, man, all it took was patience. That money on my mind, man, all I see is hating. He jocking on the low, man, you know the kid is wavy. Like how you mad at me when you know you're fucking lazy. Should've changed. What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Health is Key, and you are tuned into the Health and Hip Hop Podcast Show, the show for unsigned artists, established artists, and overall dope people who just want to elevate themselves. And as always, I have a special guest today. All right, and I don't like to waste anybody's time, so this episode is geared to help you with your greatness, especially for my female artists out here, and just overall women who are conquering their careers, conquering companies, mothers, young moms. It's gonna be a great show. So my guest today, I have Rashina Burroughs, who is the owner of Blueberry Café, Zucchini Bar, AquaPhit, hairdresser, mom, just overall super dope woman. I don't want to overcrowd. Let me let her introduce herself. Please introduce yourself.
All right, peace everybody. My name is Rashina Burroughs. Most people call me SheKnows. I'm from right here in Essex County. Born in Summit, raised in East Orange, Irvington. So definitely from the hood. I don't know. What you want to know?
Yeah, so before I like to just let my guests give their information, contact information first. Okay. Because sometimes people don't make it all the way to the end of the podcast. Even though I love podcasts, but sometimes I don't make it to the end. So just in case people need to find you, they can just zoom right to the front. So if y'all need to find her, zoom right on to the front so you can get it. So your contact information, please.
That's funny, too, because I don't really even have a personal IG. I started my IG all over, but you can find me at Brains, Culture, and Beauty at IG, or you can follow Blueberry Cafe. You can follow the Zucchini Bar or AquaPhit Water Bar.
Yes, and they have some excellent food, so we're going to get into that. All right, so first off, this is a hip-hop show, also a health show. So I just want to, shed light to the positive side of hip-hop.
Right.
So first off, just an easy question I like to start off everybody with is just because I feel like people can identify with you or relate to you more by just simply knowing who's your favorite rapper and why. So who is your favorite rapper
my favorite,
and why?
And why? I would say my favorite rapper is Nas.
Nas and
yes. Why? Because he's a poet. Yeah, his poetry, his storytelling, you know, he kept our era in a conscious state of mind, you know, through hip hop music, but he did it in a real dope, cool way. But the brother was always positive, always focused on elevation of the mind, and that resonated with me. So plus he a cutie.
Yes, he definitely is. That's true, and fly.
Yes.
So, what has hip hop done for you?
Saved my life.
Wow. Really?
I would say, yeah. Because I was a young teenage mom, and I was in a relationship that, you know, we all go through those relationships, but I was very, very young. So as far back as I can remember, I wrote music. I was in my first band at 3 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Wow.
I was on Sesame Street. You
really?
know, my little band. It was like I was the token black, Chinese, white, that. But I played the drum, and I taught myself instruments, all those things like that. But in that relationship, when I got into that relationship, I was just like 12, 13 years old. And sometimes when you get into a relationship, it takes you away from your passions and your dreams. And for many years, I allowed it to do that. And that relationship, wasn't the best relationship, although I did have 3 beautiful children that came out of it. But I got free through music. Music was what set me free, yeah.
Wow.
That final time that I got hurt, I remember just closing my room door, grabbing a pen and a pad, and just started writing. Just throwing the beat back on, started writing. Excuse me. I remember I had a brother that I met at my father's funeral that was a producer in Ohio. And I just called him up, and I was like, I'm coming to see you. Wintertime. Drove in a blizzard to Ohio.
From Jersey?
From Jersey.
How many hours?
8.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 8, yep. Drove down to Ohio and recorded my first song with him.
Wow.
And then after that, that relationship just disintegrated. It just totally disappeared. The pain, the everything. I was able to write it out in one song. But once I connected back to who I was and what I did, I always wrote. I always wrote poems. I always wrote songs. That was what I did coming up. In middle school, I used to be called Smurfette, Tiny Love. I was Tiny Love before Tretch, all that. So, but I got away from that when I got the boyfriend and started having babies at a young age and all that stuff. So once I got connected back to the music, the relationship just disappeared.
Wow.
And I think that if I
deep.
would have stayed in that relationship, I wouldn't be where and who I am today. I would have took a whole nother path, in life. And that wasn't me. So the music is what set me free. Hip hop, music, rapping.
That's so
yes.
amazing. That's so amazing. So I mean, I know you now as a vegan. I don't even like putting labels on it, but eating towards your cells, towards what your cells need, towards what your body needs. What was like childlike for you? Like, I know who you are now, but were you that before? How did you get to where you are? Like, what was your childhood like?
So from birth, I wouldn't eat meat.
Really?
Yeah, no, I didn't eat meat from birth. So from just being that special kid, always, birthday parties, she can't have this, she can't have that. I always was in the house. You can't eat the animals. You shouldn't eat the animals, advocating for the animals. My mom would cook me separate meals, so coming up, I was kind of, I wouldn't say teased because I wouldn't even allow no nonsense like that. But, people always had jokes, what I'm saying? You must SHIT flowers. And, I was that kid going to McDonald's with my dad. Can I get a cheeseburger, no burger? With the bread and the onions and stuff was still good with the mustard.
Gosh, wow.
So that was me growing up. So I still never had a hamburger in my life.
Wow.
No.
I did not know that.
No, in my entire life. So, so just always just, I just had like a connectedness to just source from just a really young age as to what to eat. I would always be in the house trying to tell them, you shouldn't eat that. It stinks. It's this, it's that, it's dead. It's that, it had eyeballs, all that type of stuff coming up. So that was me always pushing for a healthier way to eat, even though I didn't even know that at the time I'm reaching for a healthier way to eat. I just knew that's not what you're supposed to eat. I can't say what people are supposed to eat, but that wasn't what I wanted to eat.
So like, were you the only one? Like, cause I know you said you had brothers and sisters, right?
Yep.
So what was that like? Cause I know there's some people right now who are just in the home trying to either become better at eating, and they have family that's going against that. So was that something that you had to battle?
Only when I had to go to my grandmother's house. Only when I had to go to my grandmother's house. One of my aunts, she would try to make me eat these big old turkey wings, and they were like, "You're not getting up from the table till you finish that." So for a whole summer, I fell asleep at the table, or one of my cousins like, "Go to bed," So
you really fought to not eat it.
Oh, I wasn't gonna eat that thing big as my arm. I'm not eating that. No. So just people trying to force you to eat it or whatever. I used to like give it to the cat, and times I had to put it in my mouth and try to like hold it and then take it out, put it in a napkin, give it, stuff like that. So I think those were the most challenging things. I mean, my brothers and them, they're a lot older than me. My mom had me, in her older life, like 40 something years old. So it was just like kind of me, my sister in the household. So she just made me separate meals. It was only when I had to go with other people is when it was a battle. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, that's dope. That's dope. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
no, I think I did, but I think I just knew that a long time ago and forgot. You
Oh,
told me
yeah.
that, like from when I first met you. But I know some of our listeners may just be now meeting you. So
Oh, yeah.
I know when I met you when you were doing hair. You had your own salon, and all of a sudden it turned into a restaurant, which I want to touch a little bit later. But
Yeah.
how did you get into doing hair? How did you get into that?
Again, birthright.
So you were rapping and doing hair.
Yes.
Okay.
So I come from a lineage, first of all, of cooks,
Okay.
musicians, and what's the other thing I do? Say musicians, cooks, and hair, cosmetologists.
Okay.
Yeah, so, my aunts had salons, my cousins, my sister, so we were raised up in the hair salon, so it was just a natural talent that I had, natural gift. So I was on my mother's porch, braiding, buzz cutting, extension cord through the house, cutting people's hair. So then once I had a baby so young, my mom made me go to hair school at the same time while I was in high school. So I had to go to Wilford Academy and go to high school to get the credentials, but I already had the skills and the talent. So by the time it came time for me to, once I came back from doing music in Ohio, I was a spot down the street in Irvington from my house, and, it was like really cheap. So I was like, I'm gonna open up my shop, because from 18, I already was licensed to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did it. I opened it up. But what my thing was, I wanted to show people the way of not relaxing their hair. So I opened the first all natural hair salon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, doobies, and we called it doobies, plaits, and twists, but it was natural doobies, plaits, and twists. So people back then didn't even know what a double strand twist was.
Wow.
They didn't even know what
What year was this around?
You're talking like 2000.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely had a perm.
Like 2000. Yeah.
2000.
So I cut literally the perm out of so many people's hair.
Wow, people are just now getting rid of their perms.
When I tell you, Tori, I watched the world change. I from hair to people didn't even, back then we were doing, in my salon, we didn't use aerosol, hairspray. You couldn't find none of that in there. We had calabashes of shea butter, oils. We mixed the stuff up on the spot. So we were into hair care and styling. So just responsible for a lot of the locks that people got out here. Even Lou, that works in Blueberry Café.
Really?
He started
his dreads?
Yeah, back when he was a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah, I cut his hair at least 5-6 times.
Wow.
Yeah, his hair would be to the floor.
Also, too, I remember when I used to come in there, you would do like hair restoration, like natural hair. Like, can you explain some of that? Because I know some people think that like once you're bald or once you're losing hair, it can't come back.
Yeah.
So can you give some insight on that?
Yeah,
Is that possible?
that is. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've seen it for years. I did it. I did hair more than 25 years. But when I ended my career, I always was. I'm the type of person that's always going to keep elevating my education, not just because I got talent. I'm still keep growing. So my goal was, and my passion was, once I started doing it, was to, okay, I got the maintenance down, but it's to when people are losing their hair, the way they feel and all that. So I pushed and I prayed and I pushed and I found a product that could really, really, really help go. And it was at a nanomolecule. But what happens is once people start losing their hair, and then from the stress of it, they start losing more. So I would teach them, like, you have to do it from the inside out.
Wow.
So all my customers know, like, that was the thing, from the inside out. So I elevated up to all the way to doing trichology.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So like eating.
But scalp analysis, like I had the microscope, I would look into, I did your aunt, remember?
Yes,
looked into your scalp.
I remember.
Looked into the scalp.
Yes. And I think she was saying something where she had to like, sometimes like lay, I guess, her head down so the blood
the blood circulation. I talked to her about her diet at that time. Yep. So
yeah, and that's like she hasn't had hair since I've known her. So when she like found out that she could do that, she was just so happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and you could do it. Like some people, sometimes the follicle is dead and sometimes it does die out. They have a lot of technology now in trichology where they can blade those layers down and get down to that to the fresh follicle and get that hair back up.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
But you know, just the products that people use. One of the clients I had early on, she became my client. She had just started out doing autopsies. I'm not sure what that career is called, but her first autopsy case was an African American woman, and when she cut her scalp open, she was like, it was layers and layers and layers and layers of gook underneath the scalp, and it freaked her out. And that's how she became my client for many, many years.
Wow.
Cut the perm out of her hair. She didn't do it anymore. And then from then on, just that understanding of that the body's never going to absorb those products. Some of the molecules are too big and it's not food. So the body's going to only absorb food, whether it's the skin or whether it's the skin and the scalp. It's all one body.
Yeah.
People put stuff here that you wouldn't put here. Why?
Or here in
right,
your mouth.
yeah. So
definitely.
And we were raised that don't put nothing in your hair that you can't eat.
True.
So,
I learned that later down the line. Like my father used to beat that down to me, but I just didn't listen to him because he was a man. Which was, now that I'm older, it was dumb. But if he didn't tell me that, I don't think I would be able to register it now.
Right.
So that's so amazing.
Yep. So that was that. So I did that, but I didn't want to end up because like my cousins and my uncle, they ended up with like carpal tunnel and all that. So, I had got to a point where I didn't want to do it anymore. But the next logical step was for me to transition into the wellness side of it, far as the main thing of what people needed. Because by then I found the perfect product. I found the perfect person that can, help them. Even if I'm not in it, she's still doing it. She has a wonderful product. So I didn't want to do it anymore. So the next logical step was to open Blueberry. So that's why when you met me, I had Doobie still on that side and then Blueberry over here. But I was retiring. I was in the retiring process when I met you.
Yep, I remember because I went to the salon and then you opened up Blueberry right next door. And speaking of that, what is an alkaline diet and what is it? How is it important to you? Like your version of it, because there's just so many different layers to diets according to how people live and lifestyle. So what's your version of an alkaline diet and why is it important, for you?
My version of the alkaline diet is that it's a healing diet. When your body needs to heal and restore and build itself back up, build your cells back up, heal your body, and then you can begin to figure out what you're going to eat. Because I also agree with the blood type, eating for your blood type. I agree with all those things, but it's a cleansing and healing diet.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So when you opened the Blueberry Cafe, I know for me, and I'm not just saying that because we're friends, but that food is so good, but you have like one of the cleanest restaurants as far as, of course, cleanliness, but I'm talking about ingredient wise. Because even when I go to New York, even when I go to other restaurants in New Jersey, yes, they taste good, but honestly, a lot of the times I go there for like cheats or I'll just go once in a while. But yours, I go there all the time because it's tasty, like I'm having a cheat meal, but it actually really, really improves like my body. And so like, can you go in it? Like, first off, it's in Newark. So you could have put that restaurant anywhere. You could have put it in Montclair. You could have put it in West Orange. You could have put it in Cranford, South Jersey, wherever. But what made you put this restaurant in like a really prominent part of Newark on literally Central Ave?
Central Ave, Baghdad. They used to call it Baghdad.
Yeah, what made you put that
they
restaurant
needed
there?
it. Because it needed to be there. Because that's where it needs. That's who needs it. We need it. If they don't have any options. It's like Chicken Shack, Poppy's like two Poppies in a row, two Poppy stores in a row. Across the street is Chicken Shack. 24-hour store around that corner is a little bodega type sandwich, stuff. And, people talk about the black on black crime and all these things that's happening in the neighborhood, but they don't understand that it's what they're eating.
Yes.
They're eating zombie food.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
So if you eat zombie food, you're going to behave like a zombie. You're going to be out there for the flesh, So that was the reason. It was necessary right there where it is.
Okay. So, and it took off, like, it took off. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's just for people to think that vegan food is literally like grass. People think that it's like
all those type of concepts.
Grass and just you're eating nothing. You're starving, you're not full, you're not enjoying it, and they think it's miserable. But it is actually the opposite. It is so tasty.
Thank you.
It is original. It is fulfilling to the cells. It's fulfilling to your stomach. It lasts. You're not like hungry all day.
Right.
You're fulfilled. So my thing is like it took off. Like you literally seemed like, to me, I'm not sure if it's accurate, but it seemed like you had Blueberry Cafe and then you opened up Zucchini Bar like within the same year, or
It was
like
a year. Yeah.
like right
Yeah.
right at the start of the next year.
Yeah, it was a year. Yeah, it was a year.
Yeah, like I remember when you first when y'all first opened up, like y'all used to sell out food like all the time.
Still.
I used to have y'all still do. So like and like I remember talking to you and you were like, well, one of the main things is like, yeah, of course the food is good and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it was just like also because of the fact that we're literally preparing everything fresh daily.
Every day.
It's like
yes.
when we run out, we run out.
We
so
run
it's
out.
not like we could just throw something out of a pack and
right.
just
Yes.
so I know like
absolutely.
so people don't understand that concept
Yeah.
either because they're so used to just being able to go
right.
to McDonald's or go to just places where it's already pre-made or you busting things out of a pack, and so you sold out. It's like because this is fresh homemade food daily.
Yep, it's true. Thank you. And people be like, why don't y'all just make more? I'm like, because Blueberry, when I opened Blueberry, first of all, I knew the success of it because I felt it. And I felt called to do it.
Wow.
So I felt it. So I knew already. So when it opened, it just did, because New Year's Day was supposed to be a soft launch, and then we were going to close and open back up in April. But we were never able to close after New Year's Day. So, but I knew, because I knew it was something that was needed. So sometimes when you get a calling or a passion, it's not just for you, it's for others. So that's other people calling it, So I knew that it was spirit. It was bigger than me. Sometimes you're a part of something that's bigger than you, And then even I met Janice. Actually, you just reminded me that I knew you before I knew Janice.
Really? So wait.
I knew you before I knew all of them. Now I'm thinking about
it.
Wait,
because I met you when you had that wellness workshop.
Right, and that's the day I met. That's when I met Janice.
Oh yes, because he
came and he spoke. Right.
You are absolutely right. I thought you guys knew each other because maybe going to the health food store that Janice. Shout out to Janice.
That's how you know it's God. I'm telling you.
And is he part owner with you for Blueberry Cafe?
Yes, I partnered him in. Yes,
nice.
yes.
Partnered, nice, dope.
Yes,
so dope.
Absolutely.
So dope.
Yes, Janice. So you just reminded me of that because I met him when I did same time I met you.
Yeah, wow.
Was doing that workshop.
So amazing.
I went to him and I went to Corona to ask for Walter to do it, the owner, and he was like, "No, ask that guy over there." And I went over there. I had Maya, a little infant in my hand, and I asked him,
Maya, that's my
and he said yes. And he said he normally doesn't say yes to stuff, but it felt right to him. So after he did that workshop, and after we talked a little bit before, and and just talking to him after he did that workshop, and then talking to him after, I was like, oh no, this is the first. This is it. And I told him what the idea was to do, and he said yeah. And he gave his job a year's notice, and he left in December, the end of December to come, and we opened January 1st. Yes.
Like I knew Janice years before because there's a health food store, if you don't know, called Corona Health Food Store in Newark on South Orange Ave and 10th Street. So you can get all your herbs there and just pretty much a lot of the information that you need to get yourself right if you have anything that you need to heal. And I will go there and ask him everything from diabetes to cancer to eczema to hair loss to testosterone for men. Like he has a down pat. Menstrual cycle for women.
Everything.
Has a down pat.
When we met, we were like the same. It was like a twin. It was like that's how I'm telling you. I knew it was bigger because to connect with Janice, and I didn't know Janice. I've been going to Corona since maybe like almost as long as they've been open. But I never ever even seen Janice.
I didn't even know there was other people.
I never saw Janice. I promise you. I only saw Walter. I may have seen him, but I don't. I tried to see if I remember it, but I just Walter and King. That's those only.
Yeah, I always knew King, and I would see either King or Janice. I never seen the father, but I guess once Janice left, he probably took his spot.
No, he was always in the front sewing.
Oh yeah, you're
that's
right.
Walter.
I don't think maybe I didn't pay attention to him because I always was Janice. Wow, you are right. Now I'm thinking about that. You
Walter.
are right. You are right. Wow.
So for him to say yes, for him to come, it just was a perfect connection. Then, he was cooking his meals on, already, and it was just like, it was amazing. We were like the same person we had the same goal of wellness and, just helping people in that way. It was just incredible. People that knew me from doing hair knew that part of me, but, I guess I didn't, the rest of the world didn't, but yeah. So it was just like a win-win.
No, definitely. Can you give some insight on exactly because you have 3, so you opened up Blueberry Cafe, Zucchini Bar, AquaPhit, and they're literally on the same, like they're next door.
Right next door. Yeah.
So could you just give some insight on what Zucchini Bar and AquaPhit is, just for the people who don't know?
Okay, so blueberry is the savory food. We know that's the alkaline diet. That's for the, people who are just looking to just make that transition and just, go ahead and start that journey of wellness. The Zucchini Bar is for all vegans. It was to appeal to all vegans, but fun food. I'm a foodie. I'm not going to hold you. So I know you remember when I used to be in Blueberry making the cheeseburger. Not even the cheeseburger. It was like I don't even know what it was. We used to make the quinoa patties with the purple fries with the on the wrap. You used to always get me to make that.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
You used to get it all the time.
With the potatoes.
Yes.
Because that's not on the menu like regular.
No. That was when I was in there. Yeah. So just so creatively, anyway, so the Zucchini Bar is the fun foods, but we don't compromise our flours. It's all the same consistent flour. It's all the same consistent, if it's something that an ingredient or something that we want to bring in, Janice and I talk about it, look at it, weigh it out. Okay, this is good. As long as it can process through the body system, do what it got to do, we'll use it. So if it's any product that we have that someone sees that we have, trust me, we made sure that it's going to benefit the body, and it's not going to hurt the body or build up a bunch of mucus in your body. So Zucchini Bar I like dessert, I like ice cream, I like milkshakes. I'm like, wait, this could be vegan heaven. Like,
no, definitely.
Everything that you want to do, everything that we want that we don't have access to, what?
That's there, yeah.
I'm like, the barbershop closing? Okay, we're going to take that one. Oh, Boost Mobile leaving? Okay, we're going to take that one, because now fitness. Fitness is like hand in hand with that. Diet. So back in the day, I used to be that racer. I used to like to run, but I always say there's an inner athlete inside of me. But meeting Alan in Blueberry, I met Alan in Blueberry. So we'll talk about AquaPhit in a little while, but. Oh, we are talking about AquaPhit now. I met Alan Watson in Blueberry Cafe. He was always going in there, and I needed someone to help train my son, Anthony. And Janice was like him. He's a really good trainer or whatever. So that's how we connected. And then, once we were training together, it was like, hey, combining these two ideas together would be amazing. And then, I was always into the water. Like, we didn't open any of the stores without the filtration systems. We didn't open any of the...
I used to come get my water filled. Before you open the AquaPhit, y'all always fill my waters.
Fill your waters up. Yep, so water was always important to me. And that's what made me do the workshop. And then I didn't even know Brenda Toyloy. I knew someone else that did the King Game before that, but then I met Brenda Toyloy and had her come in and do the workshop with us. So that workshop was like, it was me painting a picture of everything that I wanted to do and see, and bring to the community. So that's pretty much, you came and you did the fitness, and Dre came and you guys did that part, and now everything is aligned in that space. But at that time, it was just a hair salon and building Blueberry Cafe at the time, because we didn't even have Blueberry. I didn't even have Blueberry yet. It was still a barbershop.
It was still a salon and a barbershop, but we did it right in there.
So all the components, and even you still being around, involved, and here today, sitting on the couch with you, it's just still, it's like, you saw an actual manifestation of someone's dream come to life. No, definitely.
Yeah. We had Docs in here last week, and we brought you up.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because that's where I swear, like, your restaurant literally is like a hub of just positive people. Like, I remember one time I had a meeting, and like, for Hip Hop is Green. So if y'all don't know, I co-lead Hip Hop is Green, which is a nonprofit organization that helps bring hip hop to urban communities, where we go into schools, teach them how to eat, teach them how to cook, and things like that. So long story short, the first meeting we just ever had, like, it was just so hard to get the word out. And so, like, only like 3 people came. And then I told Docs and Khalil, but I was just doing so much that I was like, okay, like, I really, really, like, can't do all this by myself, God, because I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I can't really spread the word to 200 people to get 30 people at a meeting, you know? And so I'm like, you know what? I really, really need to run into Docs and Khalil. Shout out to Khalil. And I would see Khalil and Docs through your restaurant. So that's how I knew them. So one day I'm just like, I really just need to run into Docs and Khalil, like, you know, but I left it alone. I'm like, you know what, I'm not tripping. Like, this is just what I'm supposed to be doing, so I can't overwhelm myself. This is just my job, so I can't overwhelm myself. So I just went to your restaurant to eat because I was like, I'm overwhelmed. Let me just breathe. Like, let me let God handle it because this is what He wants me to do.
Right.
So I went to your restaurant, and guess who's there?
Docs
and Khalil. I'm like, this is like the illest place. So I told Docs and Khalil, I said, look, I can't do it all. I really need y'all to get some people there. Man, the meeting was like, it was like a Tuesday. Our meeting was Thursday. Man, I came to the meeting, and it was like 40 people there.
Wow.
From 3. And I'm like, all right. And so I just really, really thank you for opening up that restaurant.
Thank you.
Like, it's more than you even, I mean, you know,
yeah.
But then it's things that are happening because of that restaurant and from people meeting in that restaurant from like-minded.
Right.
Because you get to, usually you're the only one. I'm like the only one on my block that eats like that. Or
yeah.
the only one in my family. So when I go there, it's just, I have my circle.
You have your tribe there.
Right in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When as I was setting it up, because I literally had to paint, I had to do them walls in there, I had to do all that stuff. So I was like, this is going to be a vortex. And that's exactly what it came out to be. Even when I look at Samadhi.
Yes.
With them meeting there, you know, he came through that vortex. Yes,
that is, you know, and I can feel that.
My king that I have now came through that vortex.
Yes, no,
Janice came through that vortex.
No, definitely.
Lou, well, I'd been knew Lou, but you know, there's a lot of wonderful things came up out of that.
No, it did. It did. That are going to be life changing just from other people,
right?
Because that's definitely true. Okay, so. I want to go into some more like, I guess, feminine questions for the women.
Okay.
So, one, is there a difference like in your emotions? Well, it's hard to even say because now that I know that you were already like vegan or eating clean. So I guess I might as well change that question. Let's say. So I have a better question. How do you manage balancing relationships, family, like owning 3 businesses, plus whatever else you do that I don't even know because I know you rap, you're about to go to the studio now. you have a family, you have a relationship. Like, and a lot of women, like, we're usually putting, you know, our health before our business or our career. And so either we're thriving in our business, we're thriving in our career, but then it's like, okay, our health is being put to the curb, or either you're thriving in your career, you're thriving in as far as being a strong mom for your children, but then like yourself is being neglected. So like, how do you balance all of that because you always seem just balanced and positive and just really high energy. So how do you balance that?
I think that's pretty easy. I balance it because they're all in that environment. Like my oldest son, he's always ran the businesses behind the scenes, Anthony. My son is a chef there. My daughter is a chef there. Yep. So my grandkids are in there. I work with my king, you know, when he's not at his company doing what he does, he works there as well. So it's like, it's all there. The food is there. So I'm still able to manage the water's there. So it's like, everything is there. That's what I'm saying. It's like a real live manifestation that it's like living, like it's one thing to journey through life, but it's one thing to see the journey as you're going along. You know, sometimes we bumping into our journey, then we look back and we're like, Dad, we was on the path the whole time. But the path is always lit, you know? So it's more fun when you're more present and you're doing everything that you want to do. You have to live out loud.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, did you do that on purpose, or did it just happen to do that? Like, meaning everything you needed, you kind of just based it in your business, or did it just end up happening like that?
I think it all just birthed that way. Yeah, it just all came about that way. I think my entire life has been it's just like a magical journey, you know, and there's been some things that I've been through that I would say probably would have broke the next person, or, you know, someone would still be healing from what they went through in the past. But I never looked at the problem like that. Anytime something hit me, I had to get myself back up. You know, I lost my parents. I was kind of young, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't have anybody to, come on, let's do this. No, I just that inner voice is like, nah, okay, I messed up. Because taking accountability is one of my strongest gifts. Is like, I messed up. Yeah, I did that. Yep, that was me. But I ain't gonna do it again. Not next time. Or I'm not gonna keep sticking my hand in the fire. You know what I'm saying? So, I think everything just kind of just birthed that way for me, and just following that. If I get a jolt to do something, I do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't sit around and wait and try to figure it out and write it out and you got to write out. Nah, I'm not saying don't, but no, just do it.
No, you are telling the truth. Now that I'm thinking about it and playing it out, like you literally are a woman that I can say will say something and do it. Like I'm doing this, or we're gonna have the cookies now, or we're gonna have like organic coffee, or we're gonna start having vegan rap ciphers. Like you do.
So it's because it comes from a feeling, and then if it excites me, then I'm like, oh, I want to experience it. I don't want to be holding it in my head and asking 15 people what they think. No, I'm gonna try it, and just do it. And that's always my message to the women and to the ladies is that we are amazing gifts from the heavens, the woman. What we have, who we are, what we come to do, bringing life from one dimension to the next, is nothing that we can't do, Emotions, I would say when it comes to you were going to ask me something about my emotions and stuff like that. Yeah, we're all emotional, but we have to understand that the emotions is just energy, and it's just how you react and what you do and how you process. So you have to react in a certain way to situations, and then you have to have your processes to get it out, because if you don't get it out, then you be all stressed out, and then that's where the sicknesses come, that's where the bad relationships come, that's where the all these things come in, the family neglect of yourself and all those things like that. So whatever your processes are, people, if you're Buddha, if you're Christian, if you're whatever, if it's bringing you towards the light and keeping you in a positive state where things are coming from your heart and you working from that heart place, you could do anything. You could have that everything. It can be happily ever after. But watching movies and seeing so much negativity around in the world, that we forget to believe in magic with a K. We forget to believe that there's happy endings. We forget that we're women.
Yes.
And that we are amazing, and we can do so much more it's so much more I want to do. A lot of times I go through, even now, I might say to my king, I'll be like, I feel like I don't have anything going on. He's like, what?
Really?
But I'm like, no, because it's other things that I want to do. And, that's just life itself is expansion. That's all. We're here to just expand and expand. It don't necessarily have to be just, chasing money or chasing a dream. But it's just expanding yourself, raising yourself to these, living the things that you want to do. You could do 50 things if you want to. Oh, you do this, you do that. Oh, and you do this, and you do that. Yeah, I do them all.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because every time I come from home with food, my mother like, she just got it going on. I'll be like,
I said, thank you.
Yeah, she'd be like, because I'll bring something new. She's like, what is this? Like, I'm like, I think I bought her the apple crumb cake.
Yeah.
Because I saw up there that I was diabetic friendly. Mm-hmm. So what is like?
Which one? The crumb cake?
The crumb cake. I saw that it was diabetic
and zucchini
friendly.
bar.
Yeah. So
it has coconut sugar.
Oh,
so
nice.
Agave and coconut sugar in
nice,
it. Yeah. So
nice.
It's pretty low glycemic. But we have the zero. The ones that's made with dates in AquaPhit,
okay.
the cheesecakes.
Yeah. I love those. The raw ones.
The raw ones, yeah. So it's just dates in those. Mm-hmm.
Nice. So what are some of your self-care tips that you could share with some of the ladies?
Self-care tips? Far as what, like?
Maybe when you get tired, do you take vacations? Do you take breaks? Do you I know one is music, clearly, because you told me earlier. Mm-hmm. Do you have anyone just make sure I pamper myself, or maybe go on vacation, or do you have any specific regimens that you do when you feel like, all right, I need a little break?
Sleep. I go to sleep.
That's definitely important.
I don't have nothing special. I go to sleep, because that's always my recharge and my reset. Yeah, I have to go to sleep. Yeah. So even if when I feel stress, I sleep.
Wow.
When I feel anger,
simple and free, I
sleep. I sleep it off. And I could tell by how much of the stress is in me by how long I slept. It's like, dang, I almost slept the whole day, so yeah, I sleep. Yeah.
Okay, I never. People usually say, "Oh, get your hair done or get your
Yeah.
nails done, shop." So sleep, that's imperative. That's what we should be doing anyway. But I feel like sometimes, for me, I know I'm more stressed when I just look at it like, well, how much have I been sleeping?
Yeah.
So usually, if I'm cutting sleep somewhere,
Yeah.
that's when I usually feel like I'm lacking in
Overloaded.
something,
Yeah.
overloaded. Yep, you're absolutely
Yep.
correct.
Gotta recharge.
Yep. So, speaking of just having your children like work at your restaurant, right? I have read a post on your Instagram, and the caption had read, and I want to just quote it, but it was like, I was born a teenage mom who was told I wouldn't become anything, and clearly you're very successful. What were like some of your first thoughts and actions that like made you get up from those thoughts, or from, I don't even know if you were in a negative mind frame when that happened or when you heard that, but what were some of those thoughts and actions that you had that when you heard that to make you go and be the person that you are today? Like when you heard that,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. I'm the type of person that you tell me I can't do it, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And then I learned more even coming up that I started getting excited when somebody be like, nah, that ain't a good. I had people tell me, I had a friend of mine I knew for years call me, say, do not open Blueberry Cafe. You're making the biggest mistake of your life. Do not do it.
Really?
Yeah. They was like, they don't want that food around there. They was like, they just want Black and Miles and da 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 da. You making a big mistake. Told people that we knew, had people coming to me like, no, you're doing. And I took that and I was like, I really know this is the right thing to do.
Wow.
So when people tell me I can't, that just gives me a fire. It just,
wow,
gives my fire more flame. Oh,
You
absolutely. Yeah, because it makes me know even further.
Wow,
You're not on that
deep.
frequency. You're
That's
not going to tell me
deep.
what my frequency is about to do. You know what I'm saying? But usually when somebody tell me I can't, I especially, I remember when I went to the doctor for the first time when I was pregnant. I'm like, yeah, I'm 13. But he was just like, I've been in school longer than you've been on this earth, and, basically like, what you going to do now? You're going to be this, you're going to do that. People tell me you're going to be on welfare. I remember one of my older sisters, like, I overheard telling my mom, well, you got to take it down to the welfare. I've never been on welfare.
Wow.
I've not. That was something
I didn't even know you were pregnant at 13.
Yeah, Anthony.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anthony, I had 3 kids by the time I was 18.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
That's dope. Now that I know what I know, though, to me, honestly, it's dope because clearly, if that's not supposed to occur, we wouldn't have.
And that's what I said.
Which
I said that.
Yes.
I said those words to somebody.
Menstrual cycles at 13, if that's not supposed to
I
occur.
told my doctor that. I was like, if my body was able to reproduce, then oh well.
Yeah, like that doesn't even make sense. Like it's so crazy how we live as a society and people that we go against the body so much. Why would your body at 13 be able to?
If it's wrong.
Yes,
that's some psychological nonsense. Yeah, that would mess somebody up mentally. Now you're gonna make me feel bad about
something
what
that my body
was able to do.
Yes, exactly.
So yep. And then people were like, "Oh, your life is over," and I was just like, "Your life is over." I just had that little smart mouth. Your life is over. Mine is over, and it wasn't. It just I just was in just a relationship that just wasn't healthy at the time. But it helped me. It took me back to the music in a different type of way. And then I was able to, I've had a band, I've traveled with my band. I had a show band, I did conscious music. I played drums, bass, guitar. So much came out of that, and if it wasn't for that hurt, it probably would have never pushed me back to hip hop. It would have never gave me that fire to even, get the band, get the drum set, get all those things like that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. So it seems like you're really good at like taking what they would call negative energy or pain and doing what you want to do with it and using that to better yourself.
Right.
Wow.
Because the so-called negative and the positive holds the universe. So either way, it existed before the beginning of time. Just like positive energy, So that's what I mean. It's all how you react. Or how you utilize your energy, your frequency, or what you do with these things, your processes or whatever it is that it is. But I didn't have anybody to teach me, I remember I didn't want to go to high school no more. I was like begging my mom, like, I can't do this because high school kids at the time seemed like kids to me. I was a mother, so I was like, I can't do these kids. So they had a school on Halstead in East Orange. We called it Halstead. I think it's called Bernie L. Edmondson. It was an adult high school. You could get out at 12. You go in the morning, you get out at 12. You can still get your high school diploma or your GED. I wanted to work. So, I had my job. I worked, but I forgot my point.
No, it's still good information.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any tips for like young moms or just moms period who just feel like, oh my God, like I'm at the end of my ropes, like I have these children that I love, but I just feel like I made a mistake with the father, or just young moms that feel like who feed into the energy of like, oh my God, my life is over, because it's literally on like shows, TV shows.
Yeah, I saw
they
that.
show that all the time.
Yeah,
Angry parents.
No, your life is not over.
Can you give some tips and some guidance for some women that feel like that?
Right. If you had your baby at a young age, that means your child chose you and the parent and the father, and whatever it is that that baby is a blessing. Because I know for me, my oldest son runs all the businesses. He's been doing payroll since he was like 11, 12 years old at the hair salons, and we had 2 of them. So they helped me. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change not one single thing. I would do it all over again. I would do it again. So if you're a teenage mom, do your thing. Know that anything you want to be, you could be, do, or have anything that your heart desires. Because don't let nobody stop you because of their limitations. We have no limits.
That's so amazing. I did want to touch on one thing with Anthony, because he's awesome. Like even when I used to have to do some of the events, I was used to connect with him so he could set everything up, and he's just awesome. So I do know that at one time he was shot, right? And I know you guys had like a march, or I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly, but it was a march for people who just had suffered through some type of like gun violence. So like, how was that like for him or for you to see that? Like, because for me, like when I see his page, I see that like some like the diet to me seems like it's like really helping him as far as like just, I seen like the video that where the bullet had popped out, and I've seen his caption say like the diet. So like, can you express like, share what you want, but can you express that, like going through that and seeing a difference and seeing that with the diet and things like that, and just going through that experience as a mom? Because there's moms who, have children that are shot and some are not here. Yeah. So can you just touch on that just for some of the women that may be experiencing that or went through that?
Oh yeah, a lot of the moms. So as far as the it was a wheelchair to walk. It was an awareness for people, the unforgotten people who got shot and that are in wheelchairs. Is most of the time people get shot, they die. So they get the, I'm not saying they get the attention like that, but that's where the focus is either, and then people are just, the kids and stuff are just immune to, oh yeah, such got shot, he died, you put the t-shirt on. But what about the people that got shot and they still have to live with the injury, and they have to get their, like he has to learn to walk all over again, so that's what that was for. He wanted to walk a mile for the first time after being shot. Wow. So he walked from City Hall to right here, Lincoln Park.
Yes.
On his walker, so he did it. He walked a mile.
No, definitely. And like I watch him and his progress, and I'm just like so amazed.
With the food, So he had went vegan just before that. He had, as he was just having Parker, he had just went vegan. And from the moment he got shot, what he didn't do, what saved his life, was that he didn't panic. And a lot of that came from, the spiritual upbringing. Like a lot of the stuff the kids do now, like vision boards and understanding meditation and, their higher selves, they were raised like that. So he automatically knew, so he didn't panic. So he knew what to do. So from moment after they let us back there to see him, we're in there doing affirmations, the moment after. Taped him to his room. We're in there doing crystals, scanning, called all my people that's into that.
I'm bringing like chills.
Yeah, they told us he was going to be in there 3 months. He was in there for 10 days. And then, we got him up to the rehab or whatever. And I do know he's going to walk again because he pushes and, he pushes and pushes and pushes. And I'm always working on what I call the cure, even for the neuropathy, the nerve pain, he got to endure. Although he still works hard and he doesn't complain, so... for the moms and stuff that's out there that have to deal with, those type of things, because I never thought I would be, a victim of that, but I was. But I never even thought once about the guy who actually shot him. I never had no feelings, no emotions, never thought about him, nothing. Immediately it just went for his supreme wellness. That was it. Even he forgave the person that shot him.
Wow.
You understand? So it was
Wow.
it was just about, because right now we can't to focus on that and that person, because, you do something that's your karma. That's what you got to deal with. But, as far as us, the way we handle it, even his wife now, we immediately went to the wellness, side of it. We listened to what the doctors had to say, and then we did what we knew. So we're bringing him herbs, the stuff he's eating. He's in there. Even when he was in Kessler, they're like, "Though this guy's eating," he wasn't eating the stuff that they was giving him.
Yeah, because some hospital food is horrible.
Yeah, they give you death.
Yes, they do.
That didn't happen. No, we didn't do that. He was up and eating. People were shocked, just like, wow, his progress and the things that he was able to do so fast.
From probably what they seen. I'm pretty sure some of them, that being that's their career, saw some different type of experiences.
They were asking him, they were like, what is your mom doing? Because we would go in there and close the curtains, and me and my girlfriend, we'd be in there with them crystals and scanning, and, because it was one point, once he got shot 3 times. So one of the bullets hit his liver, which of course, would affect the bowels. So whatever the surgery was, he had to jumpstart his bowel system all over again. So at one point they wouldn't move, and they were trying all types of things. They had to eventually stick a tube down his nose to try to get the bowels to come through the nose and out. And it wasn't working. I called my girl, and we came in there. I mean, he'll tell you in probably like 3 minutes or so, just pulled out some crystals. All the feces just started running out. It was like incredible. I mean, like
God.
Just
people really
incredible.
Need to hear this,
Yeah, it's
they wouldn't
true.
Believe it.
Oh yeah,
because
no.
Movies and stuff deter you from understanding that this really is real.
No, it's real. It's real. It's real. The stones are our ancestors. These are our ancestors. We were stone before we were human. So this is what this is. And when again, I can't express more that when you do things from the heart is fire. Like when you use that fire from the heart, you can make anything happen. We got him up out there. Kessler, they was expecting him in 3 months. He was there in 10 days. They were like, how'd you get here so fast?
10 days.
10 days.
Supposed to be there for
3 months. And UMD. Yeah, they told me 3 months. He was out in 10 days.
Wow.
Yep. So.
Wow. No, I seen that video where literally, if I'm not mistaken, because this is off my memory, but I've seen a video where he was feeling pain, and then I saw like Nadia like push the
well,
actual,
yeah, so
like,
he had 2 bullets. They don't take the bullets out. If the bullet don't come out, they don't, unless they took the one that from surgical, but the other ones they didn't want to take them out, so they were like, they'll be in there forever.
And it came out on his
both of them.
Wow, both of them.
And the fragments.
Wow.
Yeah, just from natural herbs and stuff, just rubbing on there.
Wow.
Because they used to pain them. Yep, and then, someone, another healer, we took him to, and put something on his back and told him just wait a couple of days, and those things just came right on out.
This is why I wanted to do this show, because it's to shed a light on hip hop, but it's also to shed a light that we don't know. We don't know. Like, it's so important to know the body. We know everything else. We don't know the body, and it's so important. And there's a lot of things.
Yeah, don't say we don't. Don't cut it off, because we do. You know a lot about the body, so don't say you don't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because I don't mean to correct you like that, but you my sister, so I don't want you to say, I don't want you to cut nothing off. But we do know the body. We just have to listen. We just have to listen to it. Yeah, we just have to hear it, listen to it, and take accountability for what we do and what we don't do.
True. Well, I have one more question, and I'll just thank you so much for coming. And I know now Anthony and his wife have their own. Like, can you express? I don't want to express their restaurant. So now it's technically 4, even though that's theirs.
That's theirs. Yeah. So that, I swear, when he opened that was bigger than anything that I've ever done. To have my next generation, my son, open up a restaurant. And, when someone's in a situation like him, I mean, what job is he really going to work at? He's in, the pain is pretty consistent, so what job is he going to do? But he's never worked anywhere. Even when he was up on his feet completely, none of them worked anywhere, except
They
for my
work for
middle
you.
son.
Yeah.
They always work, well, I say with us, because it was a
With you.
family.
Sorry,
Yeah, we
yes,
worked together in a
yes.
family business. So he knows everything from A to Z, from accounting to marketing to making food, and all of them cook. We all have that. We all come from that lineage, so all of my children cook. So to see him make a life for himself, because other than that, he'd just be on SSI, or of course he worked with the family and made money that way. But he's a man, so he has his own family, and he wanted to open something up. So to see him, step up and do that, and he's literally in there cooking in the wheelchair.
Wow.
Like, you go there any day, and he's in there cooking in the wheelchair, on his braces, on the walker, whatever. So again, that's another thing. So I'm telling people, like, it's nothing that you cannot do when it's coming from their heart. So to see him open up that was my biggest accomplishment to me.
And it's called
Almost vegan.
Almost vegan. Can you explain that one? Because yours is vegan, so can you explain that one?
Yeah, so his is almost vegan because it's pescatarian. But the goal was to meet the market, because everybody's not vegan. We know that. And there are just as many, if not more, pescatarians than there are vegans. So Nadia, Anthony's wife, is pescatarian. Anthony's pescatarian, but I would say he goes vegan, pescatarian, but he's more vegan. But, it only made sense to introduce the wild caught, because if you're going to eat seafood, you can't eat farm raised, pool raised, anybody shot up fish and fake reproduced fish. So he's going to bring in the wild caught. So he has the wild caught fish, but everything else is the same.
Yeah,
the
so
flowers,
like
alkaline,
grains,
the black wild rice. So everything is still on the alkaline vegan side, except that you could just add a piece of fish to it. So and the beauty of it is, he says that a lot of couples come in there, and either the wife is vegan and the husband is pescatarian. Now you can eat together, not just have one little small item that you could eat if you go. If she's vegan, I'm sure she could probably get French fries or try to make something up. But now they have a whole array of. Yeah, so still dairy free, no dairy, no milk, no cheese, no eggs, none of that stuff
definitely.
like that. Yeah,
that's really the most important, is the dairy, the sugar, and the white starches.
Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
So
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there
Thank
anything
you for having
else you
me.
want to share? Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
No, I think I feel like I said it all, except I just really want to express that right now, especially during these times, that we all have to know that we have to come together, and we have to come together, and it's only love that's going to set us free.
Facts.
That's the only power that's going to set us free from anything that's happening in the world, and that evil time is up. Now it's time to shine, because if you pay attention and notice that these last, we'll say 4 or 5 years, everybody's conscious, everybody's woke, everybody's eating healthier, more, you've seen more healthier spiritual things come into your life in the last 4 years than anybody has ever seen in their whole lifetime.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, because I watched it, So being at that, just seeing that, pay attention to what's actually happening in real life, not what the media is telling us.
Yes.
And we have to just really come to find that love space within ourselves. The more we love ourselves and do for ourselves on that positive spiritual level, the better the ripple for the planet.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's all I want to add.
Yes, thank you. And one more time, can you just let the people know who you are, where they can find you at?
Okay. I'm Rashina Burroughs, a.k.a. SheKnows. I'm Brains Culture and Beauty on Instagram. We got Blueberry Vegan Café, the Zucchini Bar, and AquaPhit Water Bar. And I'm at 547 Central Avenue, and we're going to shout out Almost Vegan. And they are in Allentown, so that's at Almost Vegan. Shout out to you, Tori, for still even, you just reminded me how far back we go. I didn't even realize that. And realize that, you painted a picture for me that you were a part of my manifestation and my journey. So
I was telling everybody coming down here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really do. Thank you, y'all. And this is the Health and Hip Hop Podcast Show. Told y'all, always got an amazing guest for you. Live well.
That got me
Let's get
emotional.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Oh, I forgot I got the wire.
Me too.